Hi everyone, I'm Dave Tallenfeld with Botanisol Analytics. We make the world's first autonomous disease detection kiosk. It uses lasers to detect the molecular signature of disease. And we envision a world when medical diagnosis is automated everywhere and operates at the speed of light. So I want you to imagine for a moment if you could go to your corner grocery store and be instantly screened for any disease with no doctor's appointment and no insurance necessary. That's the world we're working to build at Botanisol. So the trouble with existing medical diagnostic tests is that they're too slow and expensive for everyday use. But we're changing that. This is version 1 of 2 systems that we make, version 1 of the autonomous testing kiosk. It's self-service, and that means that anyone can approach the machine, insert their own sample, and see their results on screen in real time. It's also 97% accurate based on our most recent clinical validation. And I want to pause here and just emphasize how accurate that is, because the very best tests in the world are about 98, 99% accurate, and unlike those tests, ours is done in 60 seconds. We're also the world's first multi-pathogen software updatable test. And that means that when the next pandemic or seasonal flu emerges, we're able to push out a software update to enable all of our machines to detect it almost overnight. It uses a technology called surface-enhanced Raman spectroscopy, and it scans for the molecular signature of disease. SIRS is a technology that's already been proven to detect many diseases with very high accuracy, but it's been too expensive and impractical until now. And part of the reason for that is that it relies on the use of special nanoparticle test cartridges. And we have just developed and patented the first way to reliably make them at low cost and mass scale. And we intend to expand that patent portfolio as broadly as possible. This is a video of Zach Brooks from our staff showing you just how easy it is to use the device. You can see that you insert the patient sample, type in the patient name, and it begins scanning, and the whole process takes about 1 minute and 8 seconds. So that was version 1, and this is version 2. This machine actually is on its way to Irvine now. We're going to set it up at Octane. Version 2 is great for placement in airports, pharmacies, and other high-traffic areas. You've used an ATM machine before. This is the ATK, Autonomous Testing Kiosk. And it includes a camera, a printer, and a payments terminal. So you can actually walk up to this machine, swipe your credit card, and receive a printout of your results with your photo and your passport number on it. And the recurring revenue economics of this machine are phenomenal, with per test gross margins at greater than 90%. We've had a lot of help with this. So we are funded by the United States Air Force, clinically validated at Harvard Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, and developed in collaboration with optical scientists at the U of A and biological chemists at RPI. And this is an example of how it works. You can see that we use a machine learning algorithm to cluster patients into sick and healthy cohorts. And we tested 100 patients recently at Harvard, and out of those 100, we correctly identified 97 of them, and out of 50 sick people, we correctly detected every single sick person. So 97% overall accuracy with 100% sensitivity in that 100 patient set. We've just finished testing 1,500 patients in Africa from a much more genetically diverse population, and we're already seeing similar clustering. And it's a huge opportunity because if you just look at the existing market for medical diagnostics, it's something like $36 billion a year. But that doesn't include any of the new places that an autonomous test can go. And examples include airports, pharmacies, grocery stores, convenience stores, sporting events, military bases, and many, many more. So we think that the total opportunity for this new category of thing called autonomous testing is in the tens of billions of dollars. And we've pioneered an unconventional go-to-market strategy that has enabled us to be revenue generating from day one. So we're actually in revenue with our DoD contracts and expanding to emerging markets now. And at every stage, we take the revenue we're earning and we use it to enter new markets and add new diseases to the technology. And this feeds into a tiered regulatory strategy. So while in revenue, we are also collecting the data that we need to propel us to the next regulatory approval and the next bigger market. This is how we stack up against the competition. On the left, you've got a PCR machine. And while it's marginally more accurate than our test, it has to be operated by a skilled technician. And it takes anywhere between 35 minutes and 24 hours to get a result back. In the middle is an antigen test. And this test is pretty fast, but it's extremely inaccurate. So a recent study by the CDC concluded that these antigen tests are really only between 40 and 70% accurate. And that's like trusting your health to a coin toss. So contrast that with our system on the right. In addition to the fact that we are 15 times faster than this antigen test, and not 70%, but 97% accurate, we are also the world's only multi-pathogen software updatable test. And we have a ton of traction from a letter of intent from Carbon Group Global for the expansion of our technology throughout Africa after that field test. This letter is from the Chief Technology Scout at Headquarters, United States Central Command, and he has offered us introductions to buyers in all military service branches and three-letter agencies throughout the CENTCOM area of responsibility, which is worldwide, including allied nations. This is a letter of support from a top 20 global defense contractor, and they've offered to distribute our technology as well as finance purchase orders. This is a letter from Congressman Ruben Gallego, who sits on the Armed Services Committee. And then, of course, we have our friends, scientists at both Harvard and Stanford. We've also won a wide array of awards and recognition. These are all viewable in detail on the website. And we have an awesome team. As for me, I'm a 3-time life science entrepreneur. My last company sold for $22 million. My co-founder is a Navy surface warfare officer with a background in IT, electrical engineering, and optics, and he developed some of the first machine learning algorithms for medical diagnostics. We also work with some of the best scientists in the world, and that's not only at the universities that I mentioned, but also within our company. And a great example of that is Dr. Aisha Olgan. She's a bachelor's in computer science, a master's in international business, a PhD in biostatistics, a Fulbright scholar in the US, a Chevening scholar in the UK, a professor of medicine, and she's lived and worked in 6 countries, speaks 5 languages, and is responsible for our research collaborations worldwide. We're ready to go to mass scale because we've partnered with 2 much larger companies that have a combined annual capacity of up to 100,000 of our machines per year. So I'm so honored to have your attention today and thrilled to follow up individually as needed.